have dubbed their boutique the Sheikh Station. And Rouge Couture in 2001 won the Emirati Entrepreneur of the Year Awards at the SME Awards. Rouge Couture offers free-sized abayas, quick to produce, quick to tailor, and quick to wear. The designs, according to Sarah, are rare, elegant, funky, and sometimes crazy. Their slogan is Dare to Wear. Please welcome her to our panel. Next is Rabia Z. She is a Dubai-based designer who almost needs no introduction. Her eponymous label and herself in media are very well known. Her elegant and yet conservative designs have the tagline of "Modesty is always in fashion." And her many accolades, which are too numerous to mention, include the British Council's International Young Fashion Designer of the Year Award in 2008. She was also voted one of the most powerful Arab personalities by Arabian Business in 2009. She is shown at Dubai and Abu Dhabi and Milan Fashion Week. Famed for her drapery and creative use of dusters, she's also done couture, demi-couture, and ready-to-wear sports items. She's passionate about empowering women, and she seeks to break down the stereotypes whilst always preserving tradition and being respectful of her faith. Please welcome her. And last but by no means least is Devina Janic. Am I pronouncing it correctly? Yannick, that's better. IT coordinator and spokesperson for the Sheikh Mohamed Center for Cultural Understanding. Debbie first came to the Middle East in 1997, and she brings a very valuable perspective and point of view to our panel discussion today. She converted to Islam and fully embraced the culture and tradition of the Middle East region some 20 years ago. She represents Sheikh Mohammed Center and speaks frequently on its behalf, trying to encourage and foster greater belief and understanding with all the nationalities that live and work here in Dubai. Her focus is on building cultural sensitivity, harmony, and always embracing the diversity that Dubai and UAE has to offer. She has become the go-to person as a media spokesperson when it comes to what expatriates should and maybe should not be wearing during Ramadan and even in more on a day-to-day basis. Please welcome Debbie to our panel. Ladies, before I start asking the questions, I want to just get an idea from you of what wearing the abaya means to you personally. If you can sum it up in a couple of sentences. Let me start with you, Sarah.
Hi, my name is Sarah, and I'm so glad we're doing this because a lot of people have wrong ideas or like have put the wrong idea about the abaya and how it is and how it's brought up in the fashion world. So to sum it up, I just want to say the abaya is a piece of black fabric, okay, that has a message within. It's a symbol that represents tradition, religion, and when it comes to designing, there is always a red line we do not cross, which is that. So this is, the abaya is who we are, like it's the way we express our fashion, and just as the video the girl mentioned, is people show who they are by their fashion, and that's the only way we can show who we are, because that's what we have to wear. It's part of our tradition, part of our daily life. So we try to express ourselves with this piece in a modest way.
Thank you very much, Sarah. Right.
A very good evening and welcome. My view on the abaya, I guess it's changed over the years. When I first wore the abaya, I was 14. I didn't wear the shayla then, so at the time I was very excited just because my mom wore it, and I felt like, you know, it was a symbol of coming of age sort of a thing as a teenager, so I was just excited, and it had more of a cultural relevance for me. But later on, many years later, it was in 2001 that I took up the hijab, and this was in the US, and when I did wear the hijab, the first thing I wore was an abaya, and so obviously wearing it at that time was more for religious reasons, so over time it changed. Then coming back home, and the abaya evolving the way it has, it's hard to pinpoint and say that it's just for the sake of culture or just for the sake of religion. It certainly has become a form of expression in fashion as well. So I think it really serves all purposes. So yeah.
Thank you very much, Rabia. Debbie?
Hi, welcome again, everybody. I guess for me, having been born in the West, it might be a strange thing, I think, for people to see a Western woman that has adopted abaya. But since moving here in 2005, I found it first and foremost the most practical, really, attire for the area while keeping in touch with this idea about having some modest type of dress, easy to wear, easy to go out, and also find it, very fashionable these days. 20 years ago, when I first became Muslim and started to try to find my way in my dress, adopt wearing the shayla, there wasn't much in the U.S. as far as clothes go. So when I came to the Middle East in 1997, I began to see, something that looked like the abaya emerging. I had this vision in my head of a line of black abayas in a shop and a little bit of white peeking out from one of the sleeves. And I went immediately to it because it had some color to it. I saw it had little intricate white flowers on it. I said, oh, that's the abaya for me. And so I took it. And I think this really kind of gives us a bit of an edge or insight into that evolution. So around that time, you didn't see much color in the abaya, and it began over the last, maybe 15 years to change. And again, for me, probably first and foremost is practicality and my ability to maintain that modesty while wearing it.
Thank you. Well, let's talk about that evolution, because as we sit here in the UAE, looking back over 4 decades, in effect, the abaya was not traditionally worn as we do wear it today. It was mostly covering the head and the upper shoulders. Has the evolution gone too far, too fast? Should it be halted, or should it go back to the way it was? I'll start with you, Debbie.
Gosh, that's kind of
It's
a
a
very hot potato and powerful question. I think it depends on what point of view that you're taking and the purpose that you have in wearing it. When you want to talk about it from a religious perspective, religion, Islam, in and of itself, has something in it for everyone. There's something famous that the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, and that is with anything to take kind of the middle road. Don't be too extreme on either side, not being, let's say, too lazy about something, or doing something so much that you get tired of it and you give it up. So this idea about kind of staying in the middle, I guess this is a preference for me. I choose abayas probably that are a little bit more on the simple side. I think this is a bit daring for me, more color in the sleeve. Maybe not so for some people, but I truly believe that it is a personal choice. It definitely is a personal choice, and who is to say, what's inside of someone's heart? What is the reason they chose a particular clothes? Why are they wearing it? What is their background? If we were living, let's say, in maybe Yemen or in one of the African countries where bright colors are really the fashion and are what people have worn in that region for so many years. To introduce abaya there and for people to begin wearing abaya, that might be the thing that seems extreme, or that might be the thing that stands out. So I think in the Middle East, we see the black abaya as pretty much a staple probably since about the 1960s, at least historically. This is how we look at it. And its evolution has been kind of up and down. Around the 1980s, actually the abaya was almost gone. It was only seen more in the rural areas, and suddenly it emerged again. So these trends kind of go full circle. And
it's always cyclical with fashion and with any garments.
Here, just listening something about abaya, which is like representing maybe for us as local our identity, but now it's been taken to like an international level, which it became a fashion icon. But to have like other people interested and having other people also supporting international brands, but supporting abaya, which is again we see something it's related to our culture. It's really something impressive. I wish more, maybe from more people from our region would really look into this kind of doing kind of investment or marketing to support newly established business to just maybe establish or need some more help, some more experience in a way. Abaya for me means a lot, and when I started honestly to design the abaya, by that time it was still the classical abaya, which is one, and it's for me it was always likes to look different, not something don't like to be common as like when you enter somewhere as wearing a uniform, you and like maybe 10 other wearing the same abaya. So this is how I started to try to change, but still change within objectives of abayas, because like I cannot take abaya to be something let's say putting elements over it, it's fine, but just like to take the objectives and why we are wearing the abaya, I think this is a bit so far. We want to look fashionable, we want to be trendy, and this is how I was trying to maintain, how to keep both lines together. And when we say we want to reach to make the abaya as an icon which is recognized internationally, maybe, or not just recognized. It is recognized already, but I mean to have its own line to be on the catwalks, locally and internationally, definitely. But we need to be with a parallel line with them. We don't need to be them.